Du même endroit. I can hear you, Jerry, but I've got nothing on the mic.
In Kigali, she wakes up, she makes that choice. In Hanoi, Natal, Ramallah, in Tangier, she takes a breath, lifts up her voice. In Lahore, La Paz, Kampala, though she's half a world away, something in me wants to say, we are one woman, you cry and I hear you. We are one woman, you hurt and I hurt too. We are one woman, your hopes are mine, and we shall shine.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lisa Wisner, and I am so excited that you are here with us. I am actually most excited because this is the very first time we're actually doing a Power Up Hero interview today live. And so I'm super excited. You all know who is coming live. So I had to get a little bit extra. I don't know whether I'm extra enough for what's about to go down, but the person who is coming on is absolutely amazing. And she makes you glam up more than you normally would. So I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying. You know how I love my t-shirts and my jeans, and most of the time I'm in pajama bottoms, but you know how it goes when you are in the presence of glamitude, then you do what you need to do. Like I said, my name is Lisa Wisner, and I am so excited to host the Power Up Hero Network for you. It's all about celebrating people who have done amazing things in our community. But most importantly, we want to inspire you so that you know that this session today is all about everyday people doing extraordinary things. Because let's face it, living your best life, juggling a busy workload, that can be close to impossible. Sometimes it feels like you have to pull superpowers from who knows where and climb some unimaginable mountains. But I'm here to tell you that there's people who are making things happen, and that's who we're going to be celebrating today. So today, I kind of want you to take a deep breath, maybe grab something nice to drink, something that you're comfortable with, and I want you to just enter this zone with your open heart. I want you to take what you take from it. Some of you may be coming in and you're like celebrating the guests that we have, and some of you may be coming in to learn something, and maybe some of you are just curious about what's going on. That is totally okay. Just be here and be ready to be transformed in whatever shape or form that transforms you, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our speaker. But before I do that, I want to let you know that sometimes in life we believe that the power of women and girls is about effecting change. And you know, this movement of empowering women is something that's been going on for a very long time. But for me, it's not enough just to celebrate girl power. It's all about making sure that you're providing examples of where strength is being seen, of where there's an example of somebody who's going above and beyond. And I can tell you all day long that as much as we are equipping our world with putting more girls in classrooms and making sure that there's more diversity in the workplace, it actually means nothing if you're not equipping the women and anyone else in general to actually be successful in those roles. So across the globe, we know that there's multiple movements that are helping to make women understand that they not only deserve to have a place, but they are prepared to be successful in that place. And I'm here to tell you that, you know, empowering girls is something that shouldn't be taken lightly. But also showcasing leaders and making sure that people who are champions in their careers and driving change towards success, that is amazing. Somebody who can do that is truly amazing. And Zoraida Basaldu is somebody who is doing that right now. You know, our guest today is really and truly a power up hero. That is why she was nominated. And as we celebrate her, I'm just going to tell you that she has dedicated her life to preparing girls and women for success, not only in empowering girls, but also showcasing them as leaders and champions and women that are driving change. So Zoraida is an immigrant of Mexico, and I'm not going to be telling you anything new if you know who Zoraida is, but she comes from what I would consider, as she tells about a little bit about herself, from very little, from an opportunity where she saw that the situation she was in, the platform she was in, probably needed to be elevated. And so as an empowerment advocate, as a catalyst that she calls herself, she created an organization called Empower Femme, which is an energy movement, and it's been designed to catalyze you into your best life. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce you to our guest speaker today, Zoraida. Welcome, Zoraida. Woo! Girl, we need some music going. We need some music. Look at you. Oh, are you in New York? What's going on?
You know I had to make an entrance. I mean...
Woo, we got Beyonce in the background, y'all. Woo! Woo! I love it. You have a team there, right? I know. Okay, before we even get started, Zoraida, I have to tell you, first of all, welcome. But second, I know people need to know that we affectionately call you Zionce. And you pretty much just delivered what Zionce does. So before we even get started with you saying anything, first of all, I just want to let you know that we are so excited to be celebrating you as a power up hero. You have done so many amazing things in our community. You have touched so many lives, not only young women, not only, I guess you could say, nurtured women, right? But you have also empowered men in our community to champion with you and be empowered, just like you're trying to empower us today. Welcome, Power Up Hero, Zoraida.
Oh my God. I could not sleep. The anxiety was just building. Like 3 o'clock could not come fast enough. I am honored. I am so grateful to be able to be sitting alongside a mentor and a hero and a role model to myself, which is the lovely Liza Wisner. But yes, that's right. So you know that my name is Zoraida Basaldu. Zoraida, but it's Zionce if you're fancy. So yes, you know, thank you so much for having me here. I am so excited to be with the Facebook Live community. And yes, let's get to it. I mean, the community is in for a treat. Like, it's going to be on. If
and the community
is right now, start hitting the share button and start calling people in here.
For real. So we have quite a few people watching. And so I want to give a shout out to Zoraida. So we have it's not a namesake, but we have somebody whose name sounds like yours. And she is a true champion. We're so excited she's here. Zoraida, hola, how's it going? And then we also have Christina Miller's here, and she says that you are an amazing friend. And Zionce, what? Zionce. So y'all feel free to use the chat as much as you can. But before we even get into finding out more about our Power Up hero and how she's able to pull superpowers from who knows where to do everything she does, I'm going to ask you just a few questions in the chat. So feel free to chime in the chat and let us know where you're joining from. Some of y'all may be at home, but where are you in the world, right? So let us know. Maybe you're joining from somewhere that is not Corpus Christi, Texas, which is where we both live. So make sure you're in the chat and you're letting us know what's going on with you. And then if you have any questions or you have comments or if you have a shout out, whatever it is, we want you on the show as well. So we'll be sure to pull your comment into the show so that you can participate with us. So feel free to use the chat, feel free to use the comments, and then also let us know where you're joining from. So as we get started with the interview today, I just want to preview by letting you all know that Power Up Hero is about celebrating the hero concept in everyone. And that means that what are you doing that is above and beyond what a regular person has to do to persevere today? You know, every day we walk into life and we have challenges. But when we celebrate a Power Up Hero, we're identifying somebody who is doing the work they need to do, but they're doing extra. They're going above and beyond. And how we like to say this is a hero has strength for two. And that is Zoraida Basaldu right now. So Zoraida, tell us a little bit about you and what you do for a living.
Yes, so like you said, I came from very humble backgrounds, but at 11 years old, I had a dream. I had a very big dream. I realized that I wanted to be an engineer, and I didn't know what an engineer did. I didn't know how much school it took. I really didn't know much about what the career entailed or the different types of engineering. So, but it was the reason that I wanted to be an engineer was because I knew that it was a high paid degree, and that with me going to college, going towards a higher paying degree was going to be what was going to help my family, what was going to be able to allow me to be a blessing to others, and also to be able to create a foundation for a legacy for my family and my kids.
Zoraida,
So,
how did you know?
Chemical engineer.
Hold on. How did you know that you needed to have a higher paying degree? Like, who even told you that? Like, how did you know, like, your degree matches your income? Like, kind of tell me, like, you're a kid. You're talking about, like, being a kid and knowing this.
Yes. And so let me just say quickly. So I am a chemical engineer, and I work for a refinery. I serve as a process engineer. But let me tell you how I knew that I needed a high-paying job. I knew because I saw how my mom struggled. I saw firsthand the sacrifices that she made. I saw, I saw how we and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, we grew up very humble, and that was the situation that we were in. But I knew that for us to take the next step was going to require an education, and with that education was going to come income. So that's what my 11-year-old brain was telling me, like, you need to reach not for the stars but for the moon. You owe this to your mom. You saw your mom, cross the street to the bus, to take the bus, to go to a minimum paying wage job, so that you and your brother can have absolutely everything that y'all need. And so me seeing my mom making that sacrifice, and then eventually having an apartment, then having her own little car, and then eventually purchasing her own home, she was that foundation that I needed of, this is what hard work looks like, and this is how hard work pays off. So how could I not become something on myself after I saw the sacrifice, after I saw a woman bring her son and her daughter to a whole new country? She didn't know the language. She didn't know anybody, only our relatives. You know, how could I not? I owed it to her to be successful, to become somebody, because that was her whole goal of her bringing us into this country when I was when I was around it was like third grade, so I guess I was about 8 or 9. So, so yeah, I mean, it was difficult. I started from zero. I had to learn English first.
Wow.
And let me tell you, it's not easy. So so that's one of the things that I like to instill in the young girls, is that, don't take don't take none of this for granted. You have 1,001 opportunities. Grab them, get them. You know, it doesn't matter what your situation is. I joke that that, you know, growing up, we would go. My mom going out to eat was a treat for us. So she would take us to Burger King, and at Burger King at that time, the Whoppers were $1. And even though they were $1, we would still take our own cheese. You know, that like that's just how it was, you know, for us.
Yeah.
And so I am like, so she's my role model, my mentor.
Yeah.
She's who I had to look up to. So I
I
don't
love-
want that situation for her if I could be a part of the solution. And I definitely wanted a new destiny for my kids and for our next generation.
You know, in my mind's eye, I am seeing yourself as an 11-year-old here in the United States. But before that, I guess, did you move here when you were 10, maybe, to the United States? I think that's what I've heard you say before,
yes,
right?
Yes, like about 8 or 10. Yes, so I started.
Okay.
I went to. I did 4th and 5th grade here, and then in 6th grade. In 6th grade, is when I went to a program at Del Mar called Tex Prep, and that program still runs every summer. So during that program, they taught us all about STEM careers, and STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. So
I love that. So first of all, let me give a shout out.
6th, 7th, and 8th grade students.
Yeah, let me give a shout out to Del Mar College, because I was trying to paint this picture. I have a 14-year-old and I have a 12-year-old, and I can tell you that the things that you're saying you had foresight for, you wouldn't be able to see that unless something was put in front of you for that. So it's so important for people to have an opportunity to be in the right space at the right time. So Del Mar College having this program to bring you into it so that you can see that you can have a career in STEM. You know, we take these programs lightly, and I think sometimes we see them as like, oh, that's just a summer camp for kids. And it could be life-changing, right? It could be that one thing that happens in that one session during that summer camp that changes the trajectory of someone's life. Because right now, like you said, you're a process engineer, right? You're a chemical engineer. I think you graduated with a degree in engineering, correct?
Correct. I have a bachelor's of science in chemical engineering. But as a chemical engineer, you can do many different things. So in the refinery, I serve as a process engineer, which is just a different role in the same engineering umbrella. But oh my God, yes, 100%. You know, these programs and these summer camps or these STEM movements really do tap into an 11-year-old, a 12-year-old, or a 14-year-old, because I didn't have any engineers in my family. I didn't have those type of role models. I didn't have nobody in my family to say, hey, mijita, look, engineers do this, or look, a doctor does this, or an attorney does this. I didn't have that privilege. We, you know, most of my aunts, they're all housewives. You know, in my culture, it's mainly, you know, the breadwinner is the man. And so I didn't have those type of role models. So going to this summer camp, they would bring in speakers. Every week they would bring in speakers of that had different careers in the STEM category. So one time a speaker, he posted all of the engineering careers, and he also posted their yearly salary. So I chose the one with the highest salary. I didn't care what they did, how they did it. I just said, I'm going to sacrifice 4 years of my life. And if I'm going to sacrifice 4 years of my life in school, I want to come out on top. I want the highest paying, which was petroleum engineering. So petroleum engineers are the highest paid. But then just move fast forwarding to graduation and then college. I went to Texas A&M Kingsville. So at that time, they didn't offer petroleum engineering as a bachelor's. So chemical engineering was the next best thing to me, right? So I enrolled in the chemical engineering program. And then let me tell you something else. When I started Kingsville, I started at age 25. I was a non-traditional student. I already had 2 kids. It was a big sacrifice to be a mom, a wife, a daughter, to be able to be on one income, to be able to go to school full time, to drive 1 hour back and forth.
So Zoraida, you didn't graduate high school and then go straight to college?
That's correct. So I didn't. When I graduated, I had dreams. I mean, I wanted to go to Texas Tech. I wanted to go to UT at Austin, but our situation did not allow that. I entered the workforce, and my income helped our household. So going away to college was not really an option for me. And so I entered the workforce. And so entering the workforce was like, oh my God, I made it. I have a check. I have benefits in this job. I was in a mindset of like, oh, okay, everything's fine. Everything's fine. And I was in what I call an average mindset at that time. And so I was, I worked for the state for 5 years, and I would go into work, clock in, do my work, come out, and really just like a robot, just doing the motions. I wasn't doing something that I liked. It wasn't my dream, but I had to settle. I settled. I had to settle for that because it was a good job. Because at that time I was already married and I had kids, and so a lot of times we settle for less than what we deserve. And so with that average mentality, I thought I was fine. And then one day I just looked around and I said, do I really want to be like these ladies that have been here 30 years, just making file after file, copying? I don't. That's not me. And that's not the dream that I had. So I took a big risk, because I'm not a risk taker. Like, I don't play the lottery. I don't do none of that. I feel like I have no luck. And so I said, I have to do this. It just has to get done. So I stepped out of my comfort zone. I quit my job and I enrolled in school. And I said, what things will just have to work themselves out. Yeah. And so eventually they did. And now, it took me 5 years to graduate, but it has paid off like tenfold. Like this whole sacrifice has paid off 100%. And, I couldn't be more proud of 25-year-old Zoraida taking that step of, you know what? We're going to have food, light, and water, and we're going to sacrifice for a better life. And let me I have been blessed more than I deserve.
Zoraida, can I tell you, sometimes people don't realize you have to take a step back to move forward. And I think, I don't know whether I feel like I'm in that space right now, but things have happened for me where I feel like, it didn't go like I expected. And so sometimes you have to take a step back. So you're getting me kind of emotional here, because I can only imagine how many people are watching right now who may be feeling stuck because they have an income, but that income is not feeding their heart. And they had dreams when they were younger. And now whatever situation, they may be feeling trapped in that situation. But you need to realize, just like Zoraida said, sometimes you just need to do your budget, like what I call a bare minimum budget. How can we still exist, right? How do we still exist eating ramen noodles or whatever we need to do so that we can continue to move forward and catapult forward? But Zoraida, I want to just ask you this one question, right? I want to go very swiftly on this, because people can go online, and I challenge you, everybody on here, you need to just Google Zoraida. You don't even need to have any other words around it, because she kind of seems like she's kind of owning that word, that name right now. But yes, if you're so inclined, search Zoraida Empowered Femme, and you will learn about her. She's been written up. She has been on so many other shows, so you can see her story and everything. Today, I want you to learn about how she's able to be a superhero. How is she able to honor? I call it being a goddess, girl. You know, you just exude this goddessness, okay? And you've created a beautiful life, and you've created a beautiful organization that has made me get all dressed up. Girl, I don't usually dress like this. People know me, like in my hat and everything, right? So you got me all dressed up, and that's something, right? So I want you to share with us, right? So you probably are sometimes in your workspace as the only woman, right? And then sometimes not only are you the only woman, I think I've heard you even say that you're the only woman with lipstick on, right? So you're like glammed out in your, I guess, engineering clothes. Tell us about that. How are you able to do that?
Yes. So one of the things is that most people might think of an engineer that or any career, you know, that you have to fit a mold, and I don't fit that mold. I don't fit that mold at all. So it's something that that, you know, I work through every day, because there are obstacles. There are obstacles as being, you know, a female engineer, a female in the workspace, a female trying to climb up a ladder. You know, there definitely are obstacles, and then being that there are so few of us, makes it even harder. When I started in the industry about 10 years ago, maybe about 10, 12 years ago, there was only 2 engineers out of a staff of 500 where I was assigned to. And so I think that little by little, we've seen more women engineers coming in to the workforce, and also going through the programs and graduating. But it's still going to be like a long, long way before we can even out the playing field. But so one thing that you have to do, and not just in engineering, but in any career where you know, you have to believe in yourself. You have to exert that confidence, exert that authority, exert that power. And it's not easy. I mean, that is really why I created the nonprofit. That is why I created Empowered Femme, because after years, like, I finally can walk in my power. I can finally walk in my light. I can finally see myself as a strong, confident, smart woman that I have always been, but I didn't see myself in that light. So for me, that realization, honestly, it just came like 2 years ago. When I turned, a year ago, like a year and a half ago, when I turned 40. And so I left work on a Friday, 39, happy-go-lucky girl. And then when I got back on Monday, I was like a 40-year-old with a wrinkle right there. My eyesight had plunged. Loud music was bothering me. I didn't want to go pick up the papers at the printer. I was like, what the heck? You know, like, I'm still the same Zoraida that I left. But I just started to realize that, you know what? I am smart. I have a degree that, you know, a small percentage of people, a small percentage of women get. I am special. I am beautiful. You know, I do deserve this spot, and a little bit of anger from being, to me, old, you know, and finally realizing, it's like, where would I been had I realized all this when I was 11 years old, 18 years old, 20? How many risks would I have taken? How many opportunities would I have not passed up because of my own insecurities, of my own fears, you know. And so now you can't tell me nothing.
I know. You have a sign.
Tell me nothing.
Can you hold your sign, girl? You have a sign that says, "Don't tell me nada." I don't even know if I said it properly.
Girlfriend.
Let me show it big for everybody. Oh my gosh. You can't tell Zoraida Beyonce nothing. Nada, y'all. Nada. And you know, this has to do with you can't tell me nothing because I'm saying yes to myself, right? So the goal here is that at 40, something clicks and you realize what is going on. I am super amazing. So, you know, today we're finding out how to be a superhero, just like you, Zoraida, are being a superhero. We want to learn how to get our own avatars. You have an avatar called Beyonce. I need to figure out how to do that. But I think part of it has to do with, I've written some notes about you. So I want to go through them because I want to learn from you, okay? You need to know that as much as some people may be saying that, oh, you know, Lisa's awesome, whatever, you know, Lisa and Beyonce, right? And it's like, no, you need to know that everybody has their own unique opportunities for awesomeness and success and goddess personalities, and we all aspire for whatever every one of us is bringing to the table. And one of the things that I aspire for, that I see that you do, is not only do you say yes, but you're so daring. It feels like as though like you have, it feels like what you're telling us, I can't believe it because of the things you've been able to do so far. Like your organization is, I think, a year like young, and like the amount of things you've done. You go to Paris when you want to, you go to New York whenever you want to. I mean, there's just all these amazing things that you do, saying yes to yourself. And I want you to share with us, you know, what are the characteristics that you have within yourself? Maybe what values do you have that dare you to say yes to yourself every single time?
So like I said, it's not easy, and I struggle with this every day. Every day I fight my own head every day. So the first thing is, you know, declare your victory. I mean, just declare victory. Don't second guess yourself. Don't think like, is the loan going to go through? Am I going to get the job? Am I going to get an interview? Am I going to get an A on the test? Don't even question it. Just declare victory. See yourself, you know, getting whatever it is you envision. And, you know, before you leave the house, just tell yourself, you know, my victory is here today. I am going to, I don't know, do really good on that presentation. I'm going to ace that test. I'm going to sell 100 shirts. I'm going to, whatever your craft is, believe in yourself, and not just for a minute, but all the time. Believe in yourself. You are unique. You are special. You are beautiful in your own way. You have a voice. You have a talent. You have something that the world needs. Do not be scared to show it, to showcase it. Put it everywhere. Let everyone know who you truly are. Don't be scared. Is anybody going to show up? Is anybody going to follow? Is everybody going to like it? It doesn't matter. You put yourself out there, and then just watch how the community or things are just going to snowball your way. That's exactly what happened with me with the organization. I remember, like, you know, 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, having a talk with you, like, you know, I want to do this. And then you're like, just do it. And I'm like, but I don't have a website. I don't have this. I don't have that. And it's like, just launch with what you have. And in this like 1.5 years, we've grown so much. We've touched so many lives. And it's, I mean, as cliche as it may sound, like even touching one person, or having a little girl stop me at Target, or a young man at the taqueria telling me like, hey, ma'am, you talked to us about engineering and I'm looking into that career. You know, putting yourself out there, and it's not easy because I struggle with it all the time. But just be living outside of your insecurities and fears. So and then another thing that helps me to recognize my worth and recognize my value is to write down all the things that I've done and accomplished. So every month I'll say like, hey, July girl, you were good to me, I did this, I did that, and it's because a lot of times we get caught up in the just, like, oh, I just went to work and I saved the company $2 million, came home, cooked rice, just put the kids to sleep. And it's like, no, girl, you got up at 4 a.m. You did a morning show. You read your kids a book. You didn't just create an organization. You didn't just go to the grocery. You added so much value to something. And so sometimes we forget how good and how amazing we are. So writing it down has really, really helped me. Like, it's kind of like, oh, I did that? I sure did, because a lot of times we don't believe in ourselves. And so then that kind of reiterates our value and how amazing we truly are. But for more tips and tricks, you're going to have to read my blog at PowerUp, because I have been spilling all of these secrets out because, like you said, another thing that I didn't mention, and I'll just mention it right now, is that I didn't want to depend on anybody else for my happiness. So, like you said, if I want to go to Europe and I want to spend I spend 4 extra days in Capri, I can, because my happiness is up to me. I can because I chose not to have a car payment so that I can pay on a trip. I made empowered choices. I didn't make average choices because I'm not average, and none of y'all are average. So stop thinking average. Get out of this average mindset.
Girl, I can't even stop. Like, I need to tweet you. Like, somebody else needs to run this interview so I can be like tagging all the things you're saying. Girl, this interview is gonna turn into, I have to watch this again and just grab all your quotes and put them somewhere, because you're dropping so much knowledge. But the one thing I want to tell y'all, we're going to take just a short break to continue the song that you heard in the beginning. And the short break is just for you to center yourself and think about what Zoraida has been through. I want you to see yourself maybe in her shoes. Maybe see yourself as feeling like the platform you are on, maybe the legacy that you have been brought into. You don't get to choose what family you're born into. Maybe that platform may not be the platform that you would have wanted, right? Everybody's throwing around this word privilege, right? You may not have been born with it, right? But the point here is, what are you going to do with what you have? 11-year-old Zoraida had privilege, and it may have been the fact that she didn't realize at a younger age, she ended up realizing that her adversities were a gift. The fact that she is where she is today is probably because she had her adversities when she was younger. And so it accelerated the way she saw her life. So when you see your challenges as, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening to me, I need you to know that it's happening for you. It's happening for you because you cannot be given more than you can handle. And you need to know we don't do things alone. Nobody does anything in this universe alone. So just like Zoraida said, she visited with me for like 1 minute, but she keeps claiming that like I helped her with Empowered Femme. And it's like, first of all, I had nothing to do with it, okay? So this is all her, okay? Maybe she had one conversation with me, but the point is here, this woman already came to me like vibrating like the universe, like literally the universe was inside of her telling me this is going to be something amazing. She's about to birth something amazing. So you need to know that the obstacle is the way. So as we go into this break, I need you to go to empoweredfemme.org, www.empoweredfemme.org. You will read the most amazing blog. And I will tell you that when you know Zoraida, then you know what it means to really truly live on your vein of who you're supposed to be. And we may be taking things lightly because we're here in Corpus Christi. I know Zoraida. I can go hang out with her whenever I want. But you need to know, like, the amount of knowledge that she has on there. I have paid thousands of dollars to hear those messages that she has on there. So you need to know that this woman has lived an amazing life and she has reached where she is at, and you will learn a lot from what she has. So as we move into the next segment of this session, I hope you enjoy the rest of our presentation as we take a little break. See you in a little bit.
In Wallace, she speaks the truth. She reaches out, then teaches others how to. In Jaipur, she gives her name. She lives without shame. In Manila, Sultan, though we're different as can be, we're connected. She with me. We are one woman. Your courage keeps me strong. We are one woman. You sing, I sing along. We are one woman. Your dreams are mine, and we shall shine. We shall shine.
And one man he hears her voice, one man he fights her fight. Day by day he lets go the old ways, one woman at a time.
Though she's half a world away, something in me wants to say, we are one woman. Your victory saves us all. We are one woman. You rise and I stand tall. We are one woman. Your world is mine, and we shall shine. Shine, shine, shine. We shall shine. Shine, shine, shine. We shall shine. Shine, shine, shine.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this Power Up Hero interview. I am so privileged to be hosting Zoraida Basaldu right here with us at PowerUp.org. We're so excited because our mission is to empower you to be the best version of yourself. And the way we do that is by providing opportunities for you to optimize yourself. Not only do we provide you with opportunities for you to learn about how you can optimize your human capacity, but we give you an opportunity to serve our community. Part of serving our community is making sure that you are a champion for people who are doing amazing things. So for the fact that you're tuning in right now, you're doing your part. So I give you a high five. But the other thing I want to mention is that part of our mission is to eliminate technology poverty. We always like to say that our goal is to connect people and technology so our communities can become successful. And I'm sure you'll agree that even during this pandemic, it has put a bigger spotlight on how technology is really not a luxury anymore. Back in the day, it used to be like, wow, you got a cell phone. Wow, you got a laptop. Wow, you got an iPad. And now I want you to think about all the kids who may not be able to capitalize on their education because they don't have access to technology today. And I'm pretty excited because we've been able to do amazing things with different organizations. I'm working with an organization called Devices for Students. They're based out of California. And they have funding from like so many organizations that it's truly amazing. And to date, we have raised enough money to distribute 600 devices to students and counting. And all we're doing is cleaning up those devices and sending them off to places where students need them so they can get the education they need. So our goal is your goal, to create a community where we are as strong as our weakest link. We want to make sure that every human who lives within our community, whether it's our neighbor, whether it's somebody who lives in another city, it doesn't matter. You can't move forward if we don't move forward together. And that is essentially what this presentation is all about. It's about helping you understand how we can work together to make our communities stronger. As we move into this next segment, I want to let you know that today is all about congratulating a woman who has been nominated as a PowerUp hero, and she's a woman of inspiration. She leads and inspires and motivates all of us in our community. And if you don't know who this woman is, then you are getting ready to have your mind blown. If you haven't visited empoweredfem.org, empoweredfem.org, and if you are not a member, you need to join and become a member. Because when we nominated Zionce, and her full legal name is Zoraida Basaldu, when we nominated her, it was really about honoring her accomplishments, honoring her legacy, and honoring and validating the work that she has done to be the woman she is today, and to be the motivation she is today for us, and to be the inspiration that she is. I mean, you could literally take Zoraida and put her into any situation, and it seems like she could handle. So even if it's rocket science, I know she says she's a process engineer, but I truly believe that if she was to become the next astronaut, that she would be able to do it. And that's what this is all about. It's about recognizing local people, neighbors, friends, family, people who are champions in our life, people who are heroes in our lives, and we need to support them and understand how their stories are actually important, because their stories are going to be clues of how we need to live our lives so that we can also be heroes. So I'm going to bring Zoraida, better known as Zionce, back to the interview. And now we're gonna get hot and heavy, girl. You know, I made it pretty easy for you because I was kind of like, tell me about yourself. Tell me about how you got where you were at. And that's all kind of surface stuff, right? That's kind of stuff you say when you're like doing a regular interview. But we're getting deep now, okay? I need you to tell us details, okay? So one of the things I always think about when I think about a goddess, and I think about how a goddess is able to do the things they do, I think about how are you able to manage having a full-time job, having a family, being a spouse. So first of all, let's even put a like freaking like tag on that. You know, I think people don't realize that being a spouse, being a wife is a lot, right? You have to think, right? I mean, I'm looking at my books back here, and I actually have a book, right? And I bought this book for myself. It's called Lists to Love By for Busy Wives. So we do things like this, right? So I need you to share with me, Zoraida, okay? I need you to tell us, how do you manage your energy? How are you able to have a full-time job and then have this halo effect? And the halo effect is the effect that whatever organization you're working for, they benefit from the fact that you work there. And do you mind that I mentioned that you work for Citgo? Is that okay to mention that? I just said their name, and here I am asking permission after I said it. Is it okay? Anyway, the point is, now that I've said
a local refinery.
Yeah, it's a local refinery in Corpus Christi. We love Citgo. But the point is, I see this as an opportunity. It's a halo effect. Because I see you there at Citgo being an empowered femme, and then at the same time, your growth in the community is actually being exponentially seen as, wow, if Zoraida is able to be the person she is within Citgo, what is going on at Citgo? What type of opportunities are they providing for their employees to be empowered, to feel like they are alive, you know? It makes me want to come work for Citgo. So that energy, that, I guess, the energy that you need, the energy that you need to eat, sleep, and move, the energy that you need to keep your career moving, the energy that you need to continue to be the empowered femme that you are, how do you do that? How are you, and give us details. You know, from when you wake up in the morning, how are you able to maintain your work-life balance?
Yes, so it's definitely difficult. You know, as women, we wear many hats. Let me just clarify for the audience and anybody that might be replaying this that my employer does not sponsor my organization or is in no way associated or affiliated with my organization. So we'll just leave my employer out of here. But But so yes, being an empowered feminist is having to juggle many hats and having to juggle all the different titles that we have. It definitely is. And let me start off with the first title, which is we need to see ourselves as a goddess. A lot of times I've heard, we're a queen, fix your crown. And it's like, I don't have time to be helping everybody with their crowns. I have my own crown to fix. And a queen has a castle, but a goddess has an empire. So this is going back to that average mentality. Let's just stop thinking of ourselves as anything less than what we should really be. So a goddess wakes up early. A goddess wakes up early because that time to herself is valuable. So my day starts off at about 4 a.m. or 4:30. So I'm part of a not so glamorous working hour community, and they are in New York. So my day starts off in New York time. So this community meets at 5 in the morning, but it's 4 a.m. for me. But let me tell you, being able to put the time in the morning from 4 to 6 a.m. to my organization, to my blogs, to whatever it is that I want to do. If I want to journal, if I want to read, if I want to just troll the internet, whatever you want to do, waking up early is key. That is the key for you to, have that time to yourself and prepare yourself for a victorious day. So my day starts off by logging on with my Not So Glamorous community. And so this community is a community of women who are empowered, women who have drive, and that's the force that I have. It's drive. You have to have drive. You have to want it. You have to put in the work. I would love to sleep till at 6 and be at work at 6:30, but I have a vision. And that's going to require work. So I put in that work in the morning, and then being part of this community kind of fuels my energy, and it fuels my drive, because it's women who already have products at Target. It's women who have quit their jobs and now their side hustle has turned into their full-time income. It's women who have makeup lines at major department stores. It's women with ambition. Women, if you hang around with it's like a vibe. It's like it'll just kind of roll off onto you, So I do that from 4 to 6, and then at 6:30 I head on over to work, and then I work from 7 in the morning until 5. And my job is very demanding. It's physical, it's mentally challenging. I do have to be in the field. I have to be in the office. And, from that time, my work hat is on. And then at 5, I am still, I'm a mom. I'm a mom to 3 beautiful kids. And I am like the typical Hispanic mom that, we're not going to go out to eat unless it's a special day or Sunday or I work late. But so I come and cook, and then in the evening, try to walk, because this quarantine weight is not going to get itself off by itself, ladies. So, it's really the thing that drives my day, because I do get tired. I do sometimes sneak in a nap here or there, or sometimes I do wake up later than I should. But what drives me is my thirst for more, to achieve my goals, to look at my vision board, or look at my list of things that I wanted to achieve that day, that week, to be able to cross things off. I typically I remember being the old Zoraida with the average mentality. The Zoraida with the average mentality. I used to watch novelas starting at 7, 8, and 9. I would watch all 3 novelas. On Saturdays, I would watch The Housewives. I would, just spend my time really unproductive, and then wondering, why am I not getting ahead? Why do I see people with pretty things, and why am I still stuck with this? Or why am I, it's like, it's because I was not putting in the work. Why, sometimes we wonder, oh, well, they're lucky. Oh, well, her husband has a good job, or, oh, well, they did this, or but it's not. The power is inside all of us. When I finally realized that all those things were not serving me, my whole reality, my whole life has completely changed, like 100% changed. I don't really spend time on watching TV. I just I focus a lot on my goals, and I think that an empowered femme should focus on her goals. It's not to say that self-care or watching TV is bad. It's just that your goals are going to require time. They're going to require a sacrifice. And if you really want to achieve what you want to do, you're going to put in the work. Like, you definitely, like, think about a time when you really wanted something and you just did it no matter how. So that's kind of how it is. Mama, I can't hear you.
Sorry, I had my mute on, and I was just telling you all that I'm taking notes. And the reason I'm taking notes is because she's saying so many amazing things, and the clues are in the way the person lives their life. So first of all, the first thing I can say is Zoraida has joined a group. She's not doing this alone. So her group lives in New York, and they wake up at 5 a.m. Pacific time, I'm guessing, right? And so she has to wake up Central time, which is 4 a.m., which, by the way, that's my time. That's my wake up time. That's my wake up to power up time. So I appreciate you being on my time zone. So that's the time I wake up. But I think people think we wake up to this by an alarm. I don't wake up to an alarm. I actually sometimes wake up at 3:45. 3:46 is actually like the time that I actually really wake up. But I actually get started at 4 a.m. Sometimes I wake up at 4:15. Sometimes I wake up at 6:30. I don't wake up to an alarm. It's whenever I wake up. So make sure you have a support system, because Zoraida goes to New York from Corpus Christi every morning, right, Zoraida? You don't do this alone. So find a support system. Find a way for you to be able to find a support system. The next thing I wrote down is that you spoke into napitude. I call it, meditation is like napitude for me, right? I say, like, I mix, when people are like, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm going to meditate. But it's really like a napitude session. That's what I call it, right? It's like, say I'm meditating, but I'm really taking a nap, okay? So sleep is so important. So you need to sleep, because actually, if you did not know this, like, your brain operates by sleep. The only way that you can be a superpower in life is by sleeping, taking all that information, and then sleeping, because sleeping kind of bubbles up everything in your brain and makes it clear. So make sure you understand that sleep is important. Zoraida also talked about having a thirst for more. So she talked about having a vision board. So I suspect that somehow or another, there's going to be a vision board class that she's going to host for all of us. But the point here is you have to have a target. You have to have something that you have to have a why. You have to have a reason why you're doing what you're doing, so that when it gets tough, you can go, okay, it's hard right now, but I know why. And then the next thing I wrote down is, girl, I'm going to unmute you so that, like, we can talk through, like, watching TV and stuff. Because have you ever seen that show, The Good Wife? Have you ever heard of it? It's on, like, Prime TV right now. Anyway, the point is, there's this lady called Alicia Florrick. And I treat Alicia Florrick like it's cotton candy. Like, I do all my work. And if I do all my work for the day, then I can have some Alicia Florrick. So I think sometimes some people think that if you are a super energized person who's doing amazing things for their life, that you can't have fun and you can't enjoy yourself and you can't watch Netflix. If I tell you that I watch freaking Netflix every day, yeah, I do. But it's a reward for me. It's something that I plan to do. It's my reward. So when I tell you that I am rewarding myself to have some Alicia Florrick in my life, that's what that means, right? So, like, you know that I need to make sure I've done all my work like which is feeding myself, having my self-care, making sure that I've taken care of myself before I plug in and do things that are not proactive for my life. So do you agree with that, Zoraida?
Oh yes, yes, 100%. Yes, yes. Doing taking a break from the hustle and bustle, because
Yep.
pre-COVID I was running around like a chicken without my head, from work, then to a conference or a presentation or an event, and then rushing to cook dinner, and then rushing to get everyone's we're always trying to meet everyone else's needs. So we need to
Yeah.
definitely put in our schedule time for our needs, and
Yep.
whatever that is for you, if it's working out, if it's reading a book, if it's watching TV, whatever it is, definitely making putting a time block for that as well.
Yes. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to ask you, you talked a little bit about your morning routine and kind of like how your day operates, but I want to tell you that we're calling you a power up hero. What does a hero mean to you?
So to me, a hero is somebody who can lead by example, somebody who has overcome something, and and didn't let that stop them. And we and again, I don't fit a mold. So I don't fit a mold of a hero. I don't have badges. I didn't save a cat from a tree. But you better believe that I'm changing people's lives. I'm changing women's lives. I'm changing women's mindsets. And I get affirmations of this all the time, like all the time. Random people stop me and say, like, Miss, you said this, or you did that, or I want, it's amazing how through the power of even like an Instagram story, or just even a post, or even a story that I share, how relatable it is to other people, because we're all kind of in this together. And a hero is somebody who recognizes their strengths, and also understands the value in bringing other people up with them, because like I said, for me, I always said, when I make it, I'm going to give back. Like, I always knew that I wanted to give back in some way, shape, or form. And this is my way of giving back, especially through the women empowerment movement, because I see it. I see it all the time. And it makes me so angry that just because we don't know our worth, we settle for relationships that are not good for us. We settle for jobs that don't value us. We settle for circumstances that don't meet our needs. We and just because we don't know our true value. So like I said, it's taken me years, but definitely a hero, somebody who understands and who wants to give back and help.
I love it. I love it.
So I will take that title. Yes, thank you so much.
And it could be a hero cape, or it could be a queen crown, or a goddess energy.
Yes,
however you want to see it, we give it to you. We give it to you because you're truly a business.
Yes.
But one of the things
with the certificate, we'll close down shoreline. We'll have the drones release the turtle doves.
Girl, we're about to put a billboard. There'll be a billboard at SPRD.
Oh, another one?
Yeah, another one.
Yes, totally.
Okay, so those of y'all who love superheroes and you love the concept of being a hero, I love Superman, and I always think about Superman having kryptonite. And kryptonite is, and Zoraida, I apologize. I'm gonna mute you because there's some background noise where you are, so I'm gonna mute you. Okay, so kryptonite is the thing that takes Superman out of his excellence, right? So he becomes not Superman. He actually turns into being a human. So Zoraida, I'm going to ask you, I'm not going to call it a weakness, but I need you to share with us, maybe dig deep and tell us, what is your kryptonite?
Okay. It might be tacos, but my kryptonite is imposter syndrome. Like, I I'm drenched with imposter syndrome. It's something that I battle every day. It's something that I've learned to recognize the triggers. It's something that I didn't even know it existed. Honestly, I didn't even know that there was such a thing. And fighting all those gremlins in my head of limiting beliefs, that is my kryptonite. And that is why Ciance exists. Ciance is my alter ego. Ciance is the confident, well-dressed, well-spoken, the poise. Everybody likes her. She's she's the strong, a strong presence, a strong woman. So that's my alter ego. That's kind of like who I kind of, when I think of myself, it's like to be able to smash all those limiting beliefs and all those fights inside my head, I need to be able to remember how amazing I truly am and my worth and stuff. But yes, no, it's not easy for me. I could walk into a situation and know all my stuff, know everything, and then all of a sudden I see something triggers my imposter syndrome, and I'll start stuttering. I'll start even if it's like an easy question like where were you born or something. I'm like just and it's like, oh my God, like I need to just like relax. You got this, and it's a daily battle for me, a daily battle.
You picked and I'm pretty sure that everyone probably watching feels the same way, but we do have somebody on here. Zoraida said that imposter syndrome, yes, we all feel it. But I also want to point out that Angie Walker, who is my really good friend, she pointed out, how are you overcoming this? How do you overcome imposter syndrome?
Okay. So, like, in my mind, in Zoraida's mind, Zoraida's standing like this with her superwoman pose, with the world at my feet, and my cape flying in the air, and me and with the world at my feet, that is me being in control of the situation, of my life, of my finances, of my happiness, me being in control of absolutely everything, because I once depended on other people. I depended on food stamps. I depended on my income tax check. I depended on Medicaid. I depended on a church giving me food. I depended on my husband. I depended on friends. I depended on people who didn't give 2 cents about me, and when I realized that I had to be in control, that's when everything changed. And so for me, when situations arise or things, I just center myself and just take a deep breath and see myself on top of the world. I mean, I am a goddess, I see myself on top of the world. I see my cape flying, I see my extensions flying, and I just come into my own power, and it's not easy. There's a whole lot of things I do. I breathe, I count to 10. Like, girl, there's like so many things to do, but honestly, that's why I say leaving in the morning with a mindset of winning is like key.
It is. Okay, so I don't know if you know this, Zoraida, but I have a concept for the word win. So we all talk about winning, but I see win as WIN. What's important now? For the day today, what is the one thing you need to do? Sometimes you walk into the day thinking that there's so many things to do. I'm going to do all these things. And it's like, no. Just pick one thing to overcome. And that's how I overcome imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome, for those of y'all who don't know, imposter syndrome is, and I'm looking up the definition, imposter syndrome is a psychological pattern in which an individual doubts their accomplishments and talents and has a persistent internalized fear of being exposed as a fraud. And sometimes I get invited to do speaking engagements. And when I negotiated the deal and I got on the flight to go to Dallas, like I was good. But when I woke up the next morning, I was like, what am I doing here? Why did they hire me to do this? I don't know anything, you know? That's what imposter syndrome is. It's like sitting literally in the room and feeling like, why am I here? And I don't deserve to be here. But there is some way to overcome that. And I think what Zoraida was trying to get us through is that you just have to own it. And I think she took a step back. She did her power pose. Power posing is important. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll get ready in the morning and then I'll just power pose until I'm ready to go, right? Make sure you put some like super pink lipstick or something on, right? So that you feel super powerful. But the point is, imposter syndrome is a real thing. And it can make you like second guess the action you need to take. So sometimes you may be empowered to do something. You wake up the next morning and talk yourself out of it. Like literally tell yourself, what a stupid idea. Why do you think you could do that? No one's going to join your organization. No one's going to care. And that's what imposter syndrome is. Don't let it take over your life. So Zoraida, we've come to the end of the presentation, but one of the things that I like to do is a fast 5-finger favorites session. And you did not know I was going to do this, but I have it ready in the wings, okay? Are you ready? So I'm going to ask you, tell us, what is your favorite book?
My favorite book? I recently read the Jessica Simpson book, and it just kind of took me back to the Nick Lachey and Jessica Simpson. Like, I don't know, it just kind of took me back to 1990s, 2000, whenever that came out. But you know, that's another one. You know that we see her as somebody who's like dingy or not smart enough, and again, you know, it's like she has a multi-billion-dollar company. She has a brand. She nobody could tell her nothing. You know what I mean? But yet we see we might play her small when we see her, but there's nothing small about her capabilities. So the Perfect. Jessica Simpson book is one that I read a few months ago.
Perfect. And the book is called Open Book by Jessica Simpson. The next question is, what's your favorite movie?
Okay, it has to be Overboard. And it's an older movie with Patrick Swayze, and it's Goldie Hawn loses her memory, and it's just like the cutest thing. And I am very sentimental. Like, I cried when the first American Idol won, so you better believe I was crying at this movie. Like, I cry at that commercial that shows all the dogs and stuff. Like, I'm like, oh, I feel so, you know. But so Overboard is my favorite movie.
Overboard. Okay. And for purposes of songs, because I know we all have a favorite song, but what is your favorite song right now?
So, I'm not.
Ladies and gentlemen, she did not know.
I was gonna say like Cardi B, but that's not appropriate. I'm really digging the Beyonce song, the I'm a Savage.
Savage! Oh my God, I knew
Savage. You know, because, Booty Ratchet Savage. Yes, because just like I can put on a crown, I can take off a crown, lick my fingers, you know, dip the sauce. You know what I mean? It's not always all glamorous.
No. You're a savage, girl. Okay. So that's a good thing.
Right.
Being a savage is a good thing. It means that you're taking charge, right? You're in charge and taking charge of the situation.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite quote?
Oh my God. Yes. And it's like the longest quote ever. And I don't.
Tell me. What is it? I'll find it and I'll read it for you. What is it? Tell me and I'll read it for you.
It was something about I don't know the lady's name, but it's something. It's like it's the one about. It was on 2 movies. It was on Achilles B, and then it was in another movie, and it's basically it's just like you know saying kind of what we've kind of talked about this whole hour about you know, don't be afraid to let your light shine, that the world needs your light, and don't be afraid to walk in your own powers. And it just kind of encompasses everything that Empowered Femme is about. I'm using my phone because my laptop didn't work, but let me see if I can find it.
That's okay. That's okay. There is a quote, and actually, this quote is from the Bible. It's from Matthew. It says, "Let your light shine before the good, that you may see the good works and glorify your Father in heaven." So that's one quote of it. And then, don't be afraid to let your light shine. So there's many quotes like that about letting your light shine. I love it. So you find the rest of that quote. And then I'm going to ask you another question. Before we close, tell us who your hero is.
So like I said, my mom, you know, the values and that she instilled in me, and how I saw her work day and night, you know, all the sacrifices that she made. She never gave up. She was always on to the next step. You know, definitely my mom, she's somebody who I looked up to since, you know, of course, and that even though whatever our situation, you know, we turned out fine. Everything was fine. So definitely her. She's my hero, and she continues to be my hero. You know, to this day. So. Mama, I can't hear you.
Sorry. Here I am on mute to make sure that you are being heard. And I totally muted myself out of this conversation. But the point is, I love that you said that your mom was your inspiration, because from your story, I can tell that when you say your mom is your inspiration, it was you seeing her life through your eyes, right? So you were seeing her life and you realized that you could have more. And central to this idea is the fact that you need to know that you don't inherit anything in your life that you need to pass on. If you are brought up in an environment that you don't feel that you need to live into, don't pass that on to future generations. Do what our amazing Zionce has done. And she has literally changed the trajectory of her life, of her family, generationally. I can tell you right now, the lifestyle she is living is changing the generation of the Basaldu, I guess, dynasty, right? So when we think about how amazing you're going to be, this is truly what we're talking about. And we're talking about having the belief that you can transform legacies, you can transform lives, you can change communities, and you can actually become a person of power and that distributes your really smart decision-making process to help economically, socially, and also on a psychological level. You need to know that your power is not just about living your life to the best of your ability. You know, Abraham Maslow said, what one can be, one must be. And it's important to live through that lens, but it's also more important to understand that your legacy does not determine where you need to go. It means that you need to step out if you need to step out. It means that you need to move forward if you need to move forward. So Zoraida, I just want to close by saying I want to thank you so much, first of all, for being the amazing human you are. You know, your story is going to be written up, I think, in our history book in Corpus Christi. But more important than that, you know, you have touched.
Well, darling, I mean, the only that you have to wait for the Netflix 3-part series. We just can't find an actress to embody all of this.
Girl,
I mean, Hollywood is still not there yet, and
you're just gonna have to play yourself, okay? You're just gonna have to play yourself, girl. They're gonna have to cast you, okay? But anyway, the point is, you're a hero or a shiro. You are a woman who is admired for your courage and resilience in our community. And we want to thank you so much for accepting this nomination of being a Power Up hero. And we are going to be a champion for you. And we're going to continue to champion your efforts in leading the charge and actualizing your potential. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to say a congratulations to Zoraida for winning this award. And also, thank you so much for sharing your time with us. Thank you, Zoraida. Bye, girl. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to close off by letting you know that if you want to know more about this Power Up hero that we just talked about, you can go to our podcast page, which is poweruphero.org. Poweruphero.org. And on this website, you'll be able to learn more about her heroic story. But more important than that, you learn about her positive attitude and the specific things that she has been able to do to have commitment to living her best life, because this is not a dress rehearsal. You only get one shot at this thing called life. So you need to do it to your fullest potential. And so you need to plug in and you need to think about how you can be a hero in your own life. And I'm so excited that you've joined us here today so that you can power up your life. Once again, my name is Lisa Wisner, and be sure to make sure that you have signed up to get notifications whenever we are going live or whenever we have posted a new podcast. So you can find us on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on iHeartRadio, on The Beach 96.5, Stitcher, pretty much anywhere that you can hear any audio, we have plugged in ourselves. So anywhere and everywhere that you tune into your podcasts, that is where we are at. So I thank you so much for being here, and I hope you make this an amazing day. Bye.